What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Now, Chantal went live. During the stream, she continually talked about her need to go seek medical care. This is also, I think, the most miserable we've seen her in Kuwait. It's clear she can't tolerate the heat. Okay. Now, we're going to talk through these photos. They're going to be a little bit out of sequence, but I do just want to at least start off with this with Salah's awful driving. I mean, he was blowing the horn at motorists, he was passing motorists. There's one point I'm going to show here where he's trying to pass someone almost on the shoulder. And Chantal just, laughs and giggles, completely unaware. During this entire stream, she was complaining about her health, the wind, the heat. In the beginning, she offered they'd already been out and kind of showed they were by the ocean. It's 6:30 in the morning there. People are jogging. Salah is sitting there and trying to say, oh, this is just, a limited time where people go outside. People are never out in the heat like this. Chantal is sitting there saying, I've learned to master my stamina. And now I'm just taking these small walks. And I'm leveraging 5 or 6 small walks a day to incorporate one large walk in. And she says that so much of this is because her sciatica has made her legs so weak, she's having trouble moving. A lot of people in this chat want to know where the cooking streams are. And she says, the kitchen it's out of order. She has to clean it before she can film anything in it. That she needs to get her health in order and that should be the priority, but there's so many roadblocks that she's dealing with. How dirty can the kitchen get if there is no actual cooking going on now? And Salah, almost in the beginning of this, seems amazed that Canada has different weather than Kuwait. And as much as they want to claim, all of this heat makes Kuwait unlivable, Chantal is also sitting there and saying, hey, just being out in this makes me nauseous. From the people that are out with the camels later on, to all the cars that are out, to all the people that we see while they're streaming, this is very much an active area. Chantal at one point acts like her phone is going to shut off because of the heat. And at the same time, you see people streaming or FaceTiming or talking on their phone directly behind her. She wants to sit there and claim that, just walking around, she's close to passing out. At one point, she has to have Salah read one of the signs because she can't even begin to understand the language. And of course, she tries to make everyone feel a little bit sympathetic because she has, in a way, this is what I deserve for neglecting my health. But at the same time, after even just a very short period of walking, she is literally, demanding water, demanding to sit. And all the while, you see people just out on leisurely strolls. She is really, for the first time I can ever remember, very, very short and very aggressive with Salah and says that, he needs to go get the truck. And at the point, Salah was like, well, ask the chat if they want to see the camels. Maybe we'll go see them. And she basically responded, no, you go get the truck now. I'll count the people in the chat. That chat, however, also asks why she isn't coughing anymore. And she said, well, that was just a dry cough. And there was an undertone in this chat that this was them essentially returning home. That they had not been home yesterday when they did the live stream, but they are home now. That's why we heard, the cat noise that Salah played on his phone that wasn't anywhere near what Julia would sound like. They go out driving to see the camels. And some of the chat encourages them, get something to drink if you're so hot. She says that she can't have any sugary drinks. She complains that she hasn't been able to have any apple juice. She says now all of a sudden, and how convenient, right? If we want to play devil's advocate, if they just did their little visa run, right? Now all of a sudden, they're not going to be traveling soon. But also to that point, even if you take that at face value, Chantal looks in pain just sitting in the car. She is clearly 100% dependent on the air conditioner. They go out to the desert. They kind of show the camping site they've been to before, the vendors that they'd kind of shown in the past. And I guess there's no other way to put it. Chantal is moaning and groaning, and every bump that they pass, every shift that the truck takes, she is just literally, no pun intended, she's not hamming it up. She's hurting. The chat even asks, what is causing all this pain where you can't even sit in a truck and drive off the road? And she blames her sciatica. As I mentioned before, Salah is driving so carelessly, he goes right into like a berm. And the two of them, just giggle. They make funny faces. It's almost like neither one of them can understand the reality of the situation, that if something were to happen to that truck while they're out, playing off-road, that she would literally be in serious trouble. There's nowhere for her to seek shelter. They finally make it out to the camels. And Chantal obviously doesn't want to get out. She was just kind of hoping they could drive past and film. But Salah kind of makes her get out. And they woke up. And Salah's talking to the gentleman that owns the camels. And apparently, one of them is pregnant. They're both kind of petting on the camel. One of them almost tries to take her microphone. The camels have kind of these harnesses on them, which none of us had seen before. Even Chantal mentions, hey, I don't know what these are. I don't know why they're on. Apparently, perhaps they're used to kind of slow the movement of the camel so that they can't get too far away, but no one really knows. But based on Chantal's past with animals, of course, people are automatically thinking, you're going out and encouraging people that have these animals that might not be letting them have their best life. I do also want to say, very odd, at the end of this, we see the window sticker is still on the truck. And I have no idea why this would be. For the longest time, we joked about, the plastic was still on the seats. The plastic was still on the visors. The window sticker has, I would think, 6, 7, 8 months been on this truck. Why? How? Who does this? We also see Chantal has completely worn her shoes into the ground. The chat actually mentions that, maybe it's time for a new pair of shoes. And you really just can't get past the fact that not only does she struggle to fit in the car, that once she's in there, again, every single bump is absolute teeth grinding, grimacing. And of course, Salah is just speeding out of the desert while the T-Mobile and Chantal essentially beg for mercy. She ends the stream by saying, with all this time that we wasted, I'm going to be first in line at the doctor's office. Maybe we'll, stream that. Maybe I'll come back live later. And again, that just feeds into the illogicalness of this conversation. You couldn't stream for 4 days because you were too sick. Then you come back, you stream, but you can't be on camera. The next day you're outside in the heat going to the doctor, and all of this is free range to be filmed. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But here's the top comments from the last video. I know they do. I appreciate you watching this. And just like Chantal on a live stream when she's missed 4 days of income, there is no way that I will not be back as soon as I can with more commentary.